Hello, hockey fans. Welcome to the Minnesota Hockey Connection Show. We're at PACT-TV studios in Duluth, and we got a lot of hockey to talk about, from the pros to the high school. I mean, we got a lot of stuff here. And guess what? It's Hockey Day Minnesota this week. So this weekend down in Minneapolis down by the Parade Arena, they're having the big event. And it goes on for 3 days now. It used to be just Saturdays. But on Thursday, they'll have girls' games. And Holy Angels plays Minneapolis at 6 p.m. Thursday night. And 8 p.m. Grand Rapids Greenway Co-op plays Blake. And then on Friday night, we got college hockey. We got, let's see, who do we have here? Well, it doesn't even say. But then we got the National Hockey League alumni game at 7:30 on Friday night. So a lot of old National Hockey League players will be playing there. And then Saturday is the Boys' Day. And 9 o'clock in the morning is Warworld versus Minneapolis. Warworld's, I have them number 3 right now, so they're a very good team. So that'll be a fun team to watch. And then at 1 p.m., Blaine versus Blake. Blake is number 7, and Blaine's been in and out of the top 10, so that should be a very good game for Class AA, the big schools. And then there is a ladies' game on college at 4:30, which is the University of Minnesota versus Ohio State. The Gophers versus the Buckeyes women's hockey. And then on TV, they'll have the National Hockey League Wild game versus the Dallas Stars. So a lot of stuff happening down at Parade Arena on the outside, and they got it all ready to go. So right now, we're just watching the weather because someone said might be some snow. So hopefully everything goes right. Boy, I can't believe it's 14 years already that Hockey Day Minnesota started. And I've been to most of them. And it's fun, but a lot of times it's cold, windy. But hey, it's worth it going to these things because it's once a year and everyone loves it. Okay, I'm going to go right into high school hockey right now. And I'm going to start with the rankings. Last week was probably the weirdest week in high school hockey in the last 30 years that I've been covering it. We had 7 teams in the top 10 that lost last week in the Class AA. We've had, 6 teams that lost in Class A in the top 10. So the parity is amazing this year. And I tell you, there's a lot of big games, and sections are only 1 month away. So to start out, I'm going to talk about the top 10 in each class. I'm going to start and put Eden Prairie back in number 1. They have 6 D1s and 1 just ready to get committed, so really they have 7. Andover number 2, which is in Class 7 AA, who Duluth East, Grand Rapids, Cloquet is in. Number 3 is Rosemont. Number 4, Moorhead. Moorhead will be coming and playing Duluth East on Hockey Day Minnesota up here at the Heritage Center. So you can't get down to the cities. That'll be a very good game to go to, Moorhead and Duluth East, and Saturday afternoon. Number 5, Maple Grove. Number 6, White Bear Lake. Number 7, Blake. Number 8, Cretin-Durham Hall. Number 9, Hill Murray. And number 10, Benell, St. Margaret. And 5 teams to watch I have down Blaine, Lakeville North, Lakeville South, Stillwater, Wayzata. And there's a lot of other teams like Egan, Prior Lake, Hastings, Burnsville, Rosal that could fit right in there too. The parity's so close that there's just a lot of good teams, and on a given night, one team can beat any team for one game. But if there's 3 games to play, like when you get to the state tournament, then I'd probably put it down to about 6, 7 teams right now. Over on Class A side, St. Cloud Cathedral had a good week. They beat number 1 in the Class AA Andover 2-1. And so that was a big match with number 2 in Class A and number 1 in the Class A won. And so I'm putting them in number 1 finally. And Hermantown tied both games last week, and so I'm putting them number 2. Number 3 is War Road, who will be playing in Hockey Day Minnesota game on Saturday morning. Number 4, Orono. Number 5, East Grand Forks. Those 5 teams, I feel one of them is going to win the state high school tournament in Class A. But you never know. There's some other teams. Number 6, Montemita. Number 7, Duluth-Denfeld. Number 8, Alexandria. Number 9, Gentry Academy. Number 10, Little Falls. And teams to watch are Delano, Monticello, Mount Westonka, St. Paul Johnson, and Thief River Falls. So there goes the rankings for the week of January 12th. And some big games this week in high school. I see number 1, Eden Prairie is playing Minnetonka. And I'll tell you what, Minnetonka just beat White Bear Lake. And White Bear was number 2. And Tonka's coming on. The only team that's beat them in the last 7, 8 games has been Duluth East. Duluth East got outshot a week ago, but they found a way to defend Tonka and put all their players out on the perimeter, so they were shooting long distance, so made it easier on the goalie. But that should be a big game because I think Tonka's coming on right now. And they started the year with some sickness and some injuries, so that didn't help them in the beginning. And Maple Grove, number 5, is going to be playing number 2, Andover. That'll be on Tuesday night. And the Tonka Eden Prairie game will be on Thursday night. And I'm pretty sure MinnesotaHockey.tv, MNHockey.tv, might be having the Tonka Eden Prairie game streaming. So just go to that site and you can find it. Because they put on a lot of Tonka, Eden Prairie, Edina, Benel, and Holy Angel games. They do a very good job too announcing, and the camera work is great, and it looks good on cable. On your computer. So, let's see, who are other big games this week? I see Hill Murray has Wayzata. So they're 2 pretty even teams, really. That should be a good game. And St. Cloud Cathedral over in Class A has East Grand Forks and Alex. So they're playing 2 top 10 teams this week, so they'll have their work cut out for them. War Road has Thief River Falls. Let's see. East Grand Forks has Rosone East. And let's see. War Road and St. Cloud Cathedral. So, wow. That's big time. Montemita has Orono. So there's a lot of big games this week. So we'll go to college. UMD had a pretty good weekend. They started out against Western Michigan on Friday night, and they worked hard the whole game, and they came out with a 6-3 victory. Scott Perinovich got kicked out for checking from behind in the end of the first period there, and we thought he might get a game suspension after that, but they decided it wasn't as blatant as they thought. So thank God he showed up again on Saturday night I tell you what, I think he's the best player in college hockey, and I think St. Louis Blues they got him in the later round in draft, so I think they got a good deal with him. But on the second night, Western Michigan and UMD played to a tie. They went in overtime. UMD came from behind to tie it, and then they went in shootout. The two overtimes, no one scored, so they went to a shootout, and Western Michigan won, so they got an extra point. So Western Michigan got 2 points on Saturday night, and UMD got 1. But UMD got 4 points for the weekend out of the 6. And North Dakota, the number 1 team in the conference, only got 3 points. So UMD gained 1 point on North Dakota. And guess what? North Dakota is coming in here in 2 weeks. So that'll be a big series. And I already found out that both games are sold out. North Dakota fans, they love their hockey, and they'll travel. So I hope they have a lot of beer over at Amsoil that weekend. So I'm going to go with pairwise right now. The top 16 teams in the pairwise get to the NCAA regionals for a chance to go to the Frozen Four and be the national champions. So number 1 right now this week is Cornell. Number 2, North Dakota. Number 3, Minnesota State. Number 4, Denver. Number 5, Boston College. Tied for 5, Penn State with Boston College. Number 7, Ohio State. Number 8, Massachusetts. Number 9, Minnesota Duluth, UMD. Number 10, Clarkson. Number 11, Providence. Number 12, Northeastern. Number 13, UMass Lowell. Number 14, Arizona State, the only independent team in college hockey, D1. Number 15, Northern Michigan. We have a local kid that plays for them, Phil Ballou, former Duluth East player, so they're doing real good. Number 16, Michigan State. And then to round out the last 4, Harvard, Quinnipiac, Michigan Tech, and Notre Dame to get you the top 20. So right now the NCHC league has 3 teams in the top 10. So I tell you, that's a strong league, and the parity in college hockey is that's amazing this year too. It's like high school in Minnesota. So a lot of big games. Like UMD has to go to St. Cloud to play against the former assistant coach Brett Larson's St. Cloud Husky team on this next weekend. And that should be a battle just because they know each other. The coaches know each other so well, and they know the players. Then UMD gets at home North Dakota. Then they have to go out to Denver. So this is the month that it'll show and tell where UMD really is at the end of this month, if they're for real or they're going to have to really fight to make the playoffs. Let's get to the Wild. Okay, the Wild, boy, they've been having some problems scoring lately. And they lost again last night, and they only got 1 goal against Vancouver. And they've lost 4 of the last 5. And the only game they won, they got 3 goals. So most of the time, they're only getting 1 goal a game. So that's not good. So we'll see what happens when they go to Pittsburgh, but then they come home for 3 games. They go to Pittsburgh on Tuesday, and that'll be at 6 p.m. NBC Sports Network. Then they come home for 3 games. Thursday they got Tampa Bay Lightning. That's at 7 p.m. and that's at NBC Sports Network too. So 2 national TV games in a row. Then January 18th, Saturday, that's Hockey Day Minnesota, the final game of the day for Fox Sports North Hockey Day. It's Dallas comes to town, and that's going to be a later game, 8 p.m. because of all the stuff going on in the outside games that day. And then on Monday, the Panthers come in town, and that'll be at 7 p.m. at Fox Sports. And just to tell you, let's look at some of the players, what they're doing so far. The leading scorer for the Wild, Eric Stahl. He's got 33 points in 44 games, 16 goals, 17 assists. Ryan Suter, the defenseman, he's got 6 goals and 24 assists, 30 points there. Zach Parisi, 44 games he played, 14 goals, 12 assists, 26 points. Kevin Fiala, 39 games played, has 9 goals and 16 assists, 25 points. Jason Zucker, 34 games played, 12 and 12, 12 goals and 12 assists, 24 points. Matt Zuccarella, 40 games played, 11 and 13, that's 24 points. So those are your top scorers for the Wild, and that's not bad. Looks like they're going to get about 3 or 4 20-goal scorers on this team. I wish they'd have more, and plus I wish they can get some 30-goal scorers, but it doesn't look like they're going to get there this year. But all the trades they made at the end of the season, I mean, we picked up Victor Rask and Ryan Hartman, and let's see, who else did we pick up? Ryan Hartman, Kevin Fiala, Matt Zuccarelli from Dallas. And I tell you what, those 4, and we got rid of Charlie Coyle, Nino Niederreiter, Michael Granlund. Right now, we're looking better with the players that we picked up, because Hartman has 11 points, Fiala has 25 points, Zuccarello 24 points, where the players that we traded, Niederreiter over at Carolina has 21 points, Granlund 15 points, Coyle 23. So we're a little bit better, looks like. So we're at least even, if not better. So that's not bad. At first I thought, this doesn't look good, but these players that the Wild picked up are starting to look better every day. For the Wild playoff, right now on the Central Division in the Western Conference, the top 8 teams, so the top 3 teams on Central and Pacific Division go to the playoffs. Then they get the next 2 teams with the highest points at the end of the season, get the wild card. So right now, Minnesota is 6 in the Central Division. But let's see, they're 46. We got 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, we're about 9th, 10th right now. We have to get to 8. So we're about 5, 6 points behind to get to the playoffs right now, and we're not playing very good. So the team has to pick it up, and I don't know what the problem is. We changed goalies a lot because Dubnik's wife had some health problems, and he's been on and off for the team. He's taken off a couple weeks, and he's back for a week, and then he's taken off. So he hasn't been playing, and when you don't play a lot of games, it's hard to get any, you're just in it as a goalie. And I think that's hurting the team, even though the other 2 goalies are playing pretty good for the Wild. Stalock especially, I mean, he's picked up his game, but then again, he is a second goalie for the team, and basically that's what he'll be the rest of his career. So I think we need Dubnyk back and playing at a steady pace, and I think he'll get his timing back, and I think the Wild will start playing better too because they're at home 2/3 of their games. And by being at home, I think we'll get the crowd behind them if they start winning, especially. Every team likes the crowd behind them, and winning is a big opportunity for them to do that. So we'll see what's going on there. And I'm just going on goals. We got some young kids that are up there on top for goals for the year in the National Hockey League. We got Austin Matthews from Toronto, 31. Nathan McKinnon for Colorado Avalanche, he's got 27. Jack Eichel for Buffalo, he has 27. Then we got the old man, Alexis Ovechkin, 26 goals. Then probably the best player right now in the National Hockey League is Connor McDavid. He has 25 goals. So there's a lot of young kids that are really picking it up for the National Hockey League, and really fun to watch. If you have a chance to see these younger players, I would do so. Then in assists, Connor McDavid leads with 46, so he's got over 70 points already. So he's getting a point and a half a game almost. That's amazing in the National Hockey League. And let's go back to the Minnesota, Hockey Day, Minnesota, in Minneapolis. I was just looking at, they put out this sheet here, and it's showing that in the 14 years, the warmest Hockey Day, Minnesota was 38 degrees at Homan Field in 2015 down in St. Paul. And then St. Cloud was 38 too. The average has been 16. The coldest has been 26 below in Bemidji in 2000, just last year's game, 26 below. How would you like to play outside at 26 below with cameras? The camera people probably had a worse time. But I remember the second year up in Babbitt on Lake of the Woods there, and that wind chill was 40 below. And about the sixth year, Grand Rapids had wind chills up in the 40 below too. I was up there, and that was cold. Then I had been at times where Hermantown, Duluth, Moorhead, where the sun was shining, where it was melting the ice. And in Duluth, they had to cancel the girls' game in the afternoon because the ice got so bad. In Hermantown, the paint for the blue and red line was bleeding, so it was going way out. It was just weird. And over the 14 years, there's been a total of 185 goals. There's been 8 shutouts. And then they got the 15 players who have played in Hockey Day, Minnesota, are now playing in the National Hockey League. They got Alex Lyon. He's a goaltender from Lake of the Woods. Jake Bishop, who played at Grand Rapids. Derek Forbert for Duluth East. Aaron Ness, Rosal. Mitch Renke, Stillwater. Jimmy Schultz, Minnetonka. Nick Sealer, Eden Prairie. Nick Bukestad, Blaine, Jake Genzel, Hill Murray, Adam Johnson, Hibbing, Vinny Latari, Edina, Casey Middlestead, Eden Prairie, Ryan Paling, Lakeville North, Kyle Raw, Eden Prairie, and Dominic Toninato, Duluth East. It's amazing. I watched all these kids in Bantam in high school, many games. That's amazing. 15 players in the National Hockey League right now that played in the Hockey Day, Minnesota. In the Wild, when they play on Hockey Day, Minnesota, their record, they play pretty good on Hockey Day, Minnesota. They play the last game at 8 o'clock at night down at the XL all the time. They don't play outside. But their record is 10-2-1. So that's amazing. And the goals scored are 40. And the other team at the Wild play, 28. And so far in the 14 years, there's been 195 hours of produced original programming for Hockey Day Minnesota. Devin Dubnyk, he is 4-1-0 on Hockey Day Minnesota with a 2.21 goal against average, and he's saving 91%. Let's see, the first woman, Hockey Day Minnesota. University of Minnesota's played in, looks like 7 games. No, I take it back. They've won 7 national titles that's shown here. And what else do we have on Hockey Day Minnesota? Well, let's go back and repeat what's going on. Thursday, the rink's all ready to go. They did a good job down there, and it's nice. And the girls start on Thursday night. Holy Angels at Minneapolis at 6 p.m. 8 p.m. Grand Rapids Greenway versus Blake. So that's the girls on Thursday night. Then they have an all-star National Hockey League alumni game. And then that's Friday night at 7:30, and there's a 6 o'clock women's all-star game too. Then the boys, the big games for the boys on Class A is War Road versus Minneapolis, 9:30 Saturday morning. 1 p.m. Blaine versus Blake, the Class AA, 1 p.m. 4:30, we got women's college hockey, Minnesota versus Ohio State. And 8 p.m., the Wild played the Dallas Stars down at the XL at 8 p.m. So, hey, get down to, there's still tickets available for all 3 nights. So get down to Minneapolis for Hockey Day Minnesota. You'll have a great time, and dress warm if you do go. So, well, that's it for this week, and we'll talk more about the best hockey players in high school hockey next week, and the sections, what teams look good in each section. So, I'd like to thank the staff at PACT-TV Studios, and we'll see you next week, and see you at the rink.